Hey everyone, welcome to Secondhand Blasters. This is Normatico here, and today we're actually going to be doing what I call the Terrible Trio. I got three blasters that we're going to review, starting with this little guy right here. Now, one of those things that I encourage Hasbro to innovate and try something new. And this is what we get out of it. Sometimes you get a hit, sometimes you get a miss. I will let you determine what this is. So this is actually called the Uppercut. It is part of the Alpha Strike series, and you will see that it is very similar to a Jolt. Now, the Alpha Strike does have a Jolt. It's called the Stinger. Those retail for about $3.99. This one was actually $2.99 over at Ollie's, and it doesn't have a trigger. That's the first thing you'll notice. So this has been out for a while now. It's not really at most stores. And the other thing that you'll notice is that this does not come in a box. It actually is packaged in a bag. So for paying $2.99, I guess $3 for this, maybe, we'll see. The way that this works is that it is called a HAMP, an H-A-M-P-F, and you are supposed to slam this down on your hand, which causes the dart to push out. There is one spring inside of this. That spring automatically causes this to pop right back out once you remove your hand. I don't know why they didn't just make this a regular spring-loaded blaster with a trigger, but Hasbro's trying something new. Now, I have seen this shot like this before. I prefer to actually slam my hand down on top of it like this. Not only does it prevent the blaster from shooting the dart upwards, this way you'll get a straight shot, and you actually get more control. But that's just with me. How you choose to do it, it's all up to you. I am actually going to put this through a chronograph. I don't have high hopes because, again, it is not a spring-loaded blaster. I suspect that we'll get maybe 40, 50 feet per second tops. Regarding distance-wise, let's be honest with you. This is not something that you're going to take outside for a Nerf war. And even as a backup blaster, I don't know if this would actually be really good. This might be more for playing around inside. Maybe if you have like little kids and they just want to, shoot a dart out without really hurting anything. This is probably going to be your best bet. I don't think you're going to be able to get that much force out of these darts where you're going to knock anything over. So if you're playing in a room that has like fine china on display, you should be safe with this. So, but $3, $2.99. I couldn't really pass it up. I was like, let me see what they have. It does come with one dart, and they do come in two different colors. You get solid orange, or you get the blue with the orange. I just have a thing for blue, so I went ahead and did this one. Of course, up next, we have it's actually a two set. It's a 2-for-1 deal. It is what has been labeled as one of the worst blasters of the Elite 2.0 series. And the only reason that I got it was because it was 2-for-1. It is the Double Defense Pack from Elite 2.0. This is a Kohl's exclusive. One thing that I will say is that it is overpriced for what it is. Only because of the fact that the Nerf Warden, I know that you can actually retail that at $19. This Double Defense Pack is $44 at Kohl's. I paid significantly less. I think I got it off of the marketplace from someone wanting to sell it for $10. So I got a deal on it. I do not have a Warden. I have not shot a Warden. I've just seen reviews of the Warden, and everyone says that it is undoubtedly one of the worst blasters. I'm going to put it to the test. Maybe they fixed it since then, and we'll go from there. The other blaster that's included in this is what, in my opinion, was the weakest offering of the original Elite series. That is the Spectre. The Spectre, it was very underwhelming. It was a cool-looking blaster, though. You had the folding stock. You had the cool little barrel for it. I'll be honest with you, the main thing that I want out of this box are the darts and the blaster attachments, only because of the fact that Hasbro has decided that they're not going to sponsor any attachments for the Elite 2.0 series that doesn't come with the actual blasters, which is a major departure from the Modulus series, which, in my opinion, was what made that series so fun. So we're going to go ahead and actually switch views here as we unbox this and see what is in this box. Alright, so as with most things that you find on the marketplace that someone else has purchased and kept at their house, you'll see that this box does have its damage, but like I tell everyone, I do not collect the boxes, so I don't have to worry about this box being in pristine condition. So it looks like they did have the plastic-free packaging, which is kind of nice. Let's go ahead and actually cut through this. Well, box cutters aren't that good for this. We're going to use scissors to cut through these because these are made out of just a strong paper. And as you know from Rochambeau, scissor beats paper. Set the Warden to the side. And then we have the Spectre. Stock. And it does come with 40 darts. Let's see where they keep the darts out in this. Ah, they must be on the side. And then we have our 40 Elite darts in the box. So one of the things that they've been continuing with the Elite series is that they are packing a lot more darts than you need, which is kind of nice because I believe this actually only has 5 plus 8, so you're only going to use 13 darts out of this at one time. It gives you 40, which means you have 3 times as many darts plus 1 that you actually need. Now, one thing I noticed about the Spectre, okay, there it is. You do press that button, and out comes the barrel where you actually load the darts in. So it looks like they continued what they did with the Spectre before, that it has a much flimsier barrel than, say, the Maverick or the Strong Arm, and you can only load a couple of darts at a time. Of course, if you wanted to mod it, you can go ahead and actually cut out the post back there, make this shoot some mini darts. That should be actually pretty easy to mod. You can, of course, take off the silencer. This is just going to end up slowing down the darts. And you have the priming handle. That's actually pretty smooth. And you have the stock attachment point there as well. So it's actually pretty comfortable. And the color scheme's really nice. The Elite 2.0 colors look really sharp on this blaster with the white offsetting instead of having a gray. I'm not going to lie, this reminds me a lot of the Commander, just with less dart capacity. So, loading it up, that barrel is just really flimsy. Now this is the curse of the Spectre from the standard Elite series as well. That barrel just does not feel very secure. I guess some things never change. I would have thought that they would have fixed that to go into the Elite 2.0 series. And you really want to make sure that you press those darts in, or else they're going to jump up against the top of the barrel. Priming, it does cause the barrel to actually rotate. And there you go. One prime causes the barrel to rotate on this one. And that is the Spectre. We'll be switching views here soon to show you how it looks with all the attachment points on it. Of course, the strong arm, you have the priming handle here. Shoots and fires. It does hold 8 darts at once. Let's go ahead and load up the blue ones in here. Now, like the rough cut before, it does shoot 8. It should shoot 2 at a time. Oh, let's see here. I think we might have an adaptive trigger. Nope, it does not. So it shoots only 2 at a time. I really wish that they would have done like the actual the Mega Twin Shock, where you could just pull the trigger slightly, it shoots 1. You pull the trigger all the way down, and it shoots twice. That's not the case. This one does come with 1 tactical rail, so if you wanted to attach a scope, you can, or a light. Of course, this is a shotgun style. I don't know why you would need a scope, but it's there. That's one of the things that they said about the Elite 2.0 series, that they were going all about the tactics. Okay, so here are my final thoughts on the blasters. After having run them through the chronograph and having played with them down the hallway to see how they go, what their pairings are like, you know, I was actually surprised with the Spectre. I did not expect to get around 70 feet per second of an average when it came to shooting this thing, but yeah, it got it. This is an improvement over the original Elite Spectre that I have, and a little bit better than the End Strike one as well. The downside to this is that it does still have the same issue regarding the barrel, and it is very finicky. Sometimes it does jam. It jammed on me at least twice while I was doing the hallway shoot. You'll probably notice that in the video that it took a little bit took a little bit longer for me to actually get the darts out than I normally should have. So it doesn't always line up properly with the shaft. So, you know, that's kind of the same issue that my other Spectre had. So they didn't fix that necessarily, but it does feel a lot more powerful. You know, I only averaged around 62 feet per second with my other Spectre, and that's even with a spring upgrade. So maybe this one's better. Who knows? Or it's also just newer. I do really dig the actual aesthetics with this. I do feel that if you were to get this blaster, though, given that it does only average about 70 feet per second, you'd be better off taking this attachment off, putting this blaster to the side, and attaching these to something like the Commander. I believe that these would actually look really sharp on the Commander, and I wish that they would sell these separately. Regarding the Warden, I mean, I know that Wacom, his broke when he was reviewing it. Coop also had nothing but horrible things to say about this. Frank, I should say. And even Drax said the same thing, that these things broke easily. That's not my experience with it so far. Of course, mind you, I play with my blasters really lightly. I don't necessarily slam fire. So maybe that's why mine has not broken yet. I'm sure that if it does in the future, you know, I'll have to find a way to fix it. From my understanding, though, the ones that have broken have mainly happened when people have done slam fire mechanism on it. So if you avoid that, you get a decent blaster. And decent is a relative term. I personally would stick with finding a rough cut. You can still find those online anywhere. eBay, you'll find them for like $10 every now and then. You can actually find those on the marketplace where people put them in bundles and get rid of them. So if you had to make a choice, I would go with the rough cut, only because of the fact that the internals of it are much easier to work with. I have seen the internals of this blaster. Unfortunately, the only way to take this one apart is to break it, and putting it back together is difficult, to say the least. There is solvent welding on here. There's a scattered plunger system, so instead of having the parallel plungers like the rough cut has, they are scattered. One thing I will say, and you won't have noticed it in the chronograph except for the numbers, the right side of the blaster, it has a significant drop in feet per second compared to the left side of the blaster. I believe, and this is just theory, that is because of the way that the plunger tubes are assembled. The scattered plunger tube, the left one seems to be sitting on top, the right one is down at an angle to the right, so you get the initial blast on these two with a smart AR system. The right side, it goes directly into the center of the blaster. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. That's the only reason that it would make sense to me is because the plunger tube is closer to the top on the left side. Ergo, those top two dart ports get more power. So you do with that information what you will. Now, regarding this little sucker right here, I don't know why Hasbro made this one. I get trying new things, as I said earlier, and, you know, there are certain things that should never make it into production. I give them an honest C for the attempt. It is something new. I've not seen a blaster like this before, without a trigger. Correction, I've seen blasters without a trigger, but I've not seen a pump action elite style blaster without a trigger necessarily. I've seen pump actions. I've seen the kind like the Phoenix. I've seen the kind where you actually prime a pump and then you pull a trigger and it just shoots out, much like the Moto Blitz does. Yeah. But I've never seen one that you actually push down on something and it launches the blaster like that individually in such a small piece. And for the price point that they have on this, $299. I mean, you might as well spend a little bit more money to get the Jolt. The Stinger. Or if you really want to spend more money than the Stinger, spend a few more dollars and actually find a Jolt. They still sell those. They're all over the place. So, why they made this? Your guess is as good as mine. It is an internal use blaster only. I am surprised that I did get up to 55 feet per second with one blast, with one shot of these. That is using standard elite darts. So, it's possible. It's sub-elite performance, obviously, but it is what it is. Just to give you an idea, though, I put that up against a Stinger, and the Stinger can get around 63 feet per second. So, you do with that what you will. This is probably a lot easier for a little kid, so anyone less than 8, 5-year-old could easily just, have fun, just be like smacking that all over the place. But I wouldn't give this to anyone older than that. So, that being said, I want to go ahead and remind you all that we are doing a blaster giveaway. I have an Elite 2.0 Phoenix and a Turbine, as well as an X-Shot Crusher that will be going free to a good home once I hit 100 subs. One of my lucky subs will be able to get one of those blasters. Once I do hit that lucky 100 sub number, I will be launching a video inviting people to comment, and whenever they do, I will be selecting one of those people to go ahead and receive that free blaster. Until next time, you've been watching Secondhand Blasters. This is Normatico. Keep on blasting.